How's it going, Reef Keepers? Hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to give you a look at the tank, and I'm going to talk about something I think that us Reef Keepers really should be considering doing right about now. So, look, I don't want to get into like politics on this channel. Uh, However, I will say uh, what's gone on recently here, like last 48, 72 hours with regards to tariff rates is pretty wild. So most people in at least in my life that I talk to are pretty politically unaware. Politics is one of those things that is very stupid, but it is like so important, right? So I do try to keep up on it. And our the Trump administration just basically laid out tariffs that are going to cover most of the globe and cover very critical nations that are intrinsically tied to the reef keeping hobby, be it on the gear side or on the livestock side of the hobby. So, for instance, our tariff on China jumped from like 20% to 54%. So, what a tariff is, and I know that for some reason this is like debated, what a tariff is the users, like when a country puts a tariff out against another country, the country who pushed that tariff forward is making their citizens pay a higher price for products coming into that nation in order to basically punish the nation that the tariff was put on, right? So by putting a higher tariff on China, for instance, we make it less likely that Americans will buy Chinese goods because the tariff will be higher, therefore the price will be higher, therefore we as American citizens will be more likely to buy non-Chinese goods, possibly buy American goods or North American goods, right? So there are also, you can just look them up. You can just Google, Liberation Day tariff rates. That's what the Trump administration called this, was the Liberation Day tariffs. And you can see that, like, Indonesia, heavy tariffs, South Korea, Japan, much of the EU. So because of this, and because of the risk that these tariffs that the United States has levied against most of the globe, and heavier tariffs on many partners that are critical trading partners that impact the reef keeping hobby, I would urge you guys to start stockpiling reef keeping gear, reef keeping supplies, food. I would stockpile. I would not stockpile. I don't think you can really stockpile livestock, but I would make any livestock purchases that you can make, like right away, because we meaning America, we do not yet understand the full impact of these tariffs. It's not like a tariff goes out and 1 minute later, all the prices, our companies just jump all the prices, right? Companies have to go through and like really look at what's going to be hit, how it's going to be hit, how it's going to impact their operating costs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Look at how sales go for a little while, what have you. Um, Certainly, in the near term, these tariffs are going to make pretty much, something, if not everything, in many categories of our lives more expensive. Um, I understand what the Trump administration is trying to do with their push for these, like tariffs that are on par with the tariffs we had at the beginning of the Great Depression. I understand the end goal. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I do understand the end goal. It's just these tariffs are really steep, guys. They're like really steep. They're really going to raise the prices on the stuff that we do, the stuff we need in order to enjoy the hobby and make the hobby possible. They're going to raise those prices a lot. So, look, we're all ordinary people, right? we are not controlling what the people in the, back rooms of Washington are doing. There's going to be a lot of, I think, negotiation, I hope, negotiation that goes on over the course of the next 6 months, year, 2 years, and hopefully some of these tariffs can be sort of like reined in, and we can reach some agreements with other nations, with, traditional allies that we've put tariffs on, et cetera, et cetera. That's my hope, is that like the brutal impact of them that we're all going to feel in the nearest term is mitigated over time by ongoing discussions and agreements that are made and deals that are brokered. But for right now, because we don't know how the rest of the world is going to react. We don't know how nations in the Asian region are going to respond. We don't know how the EU is going to respond. We just don't know. We don't know if they're going to go to trade war, or if they're going to come to the negotiating table. If you have spare money that you can put toward the hobby to just stockpile things that you need for continuity of reef keeping, I would do it. I'm not, I'm trying to help people out. Maybe this is overly cautious. I'm a pretty cautious guy by nature. I'm pretty prone to stressing out and worrying about things and being a little paranoid about, things that could be coming down the line that might impact me and my family or my hobby. So, don't hold it against me if things go, better than anticipated and like this is not such a big deal. This is my personal view. I think that we should all be prepared for a period of kind of, hobby hardship as the industry of reef keeping sort of adjusts to the new reality and then continues to adjust as our reality evolves on an international front, right? So that's my view. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm not trying to freak anybody out. I'm just trying to give some sound advice and hopefully save some people some money if it does turn out that we do see some pretty steep price increases, which, according to economists on both sides of the aisle, I listen to conservative and liberal economists to try to get a baseline of what's going on. Economists on both sides of the aisle seem to be in like full agreement that things are going to get, pricier here in the nearish term as the reality of these tariffs sets in and companies adjust what they're doing. So that's what I got for you today. I'm sorry it's not, a more exciting video. I will do like a full tank update. I mean, you guys can see tank's doing pretty well. The bright lights, my Quanta Pros just flipped on, but things look good. It looks like everything's going to be out and happy today. But all right, guys, I appreciate your time as always. And if you have questions, I'm not some kind of expert. I'm listening to experts talk about this stuff. But if you have any questions or whatever, like throw them at me. I'll do my best to answer them. And if I don't know, I'm just going to tell you I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. Just trying to help people out. And in my view, just kind of bracing and preparing where you can. It can't really be a bad move. So, all right, folks, have a good one.